Hi, my name is Vivan, and over the last 8 weeks, I'm proud to have built a land use emission map to prioritize light pollution intervention in Dubai. Every living thing evolved under a constant cycle of light and dark, and within about a century, we've taken that very signal away. This carries significant consequences as it kills hundreds of thousands of birds and hatchling turtles year on year, impedes human health, wastes electricity, and obscures our view of the precious night sky. As a result, light pollution falls under the UN Sustainable Development Goals 7 and 11. Existing interventions are well established, and they usually tend to involve shielding or dimming fixtures. However, the cause area is still very badly neglected, and light remains largely unregulated compared to other pollutants such as air or water. In fact, the UAE ranks fourth in the world for light pollution. Although the interventions do exist, policymakers can't prioritize what they can measure. Different land uses are shielded differently and they tend to belong to different authorities. Hence, we chose to attribute by land use so that our results point to a specific body. For example, if street lighting turned out to emit the most light, that finding belongs to the RTA, who write the specification those lights are installed to. Our method consists of two halves. We first built a land use map of Dubai using openly available data, and then attributed 2025 satellite night imagery to those zones, producing a land use emission map. To do so, we first cut the city into blocks along its road network. We then took points of interest, which are the 5 maps below, and applied the kernel density estimation and block classification formulas shown above to assign each block a land use. A point of interest is only a dot, so we used a kernel density estimation technique to spread each one into a smooth surface of influence that fades out over about a kilometer. Each block then takes whichever use dominates its own surface, producing the functional zone map on the right. We scored a stratified sample of 40 blocks against satellite imagery to find our map 82.5% accurate, which was quite comparable to the roughly 82% reported for other cities on a similar formula. With the map built, we took an average of an year of satellite night imagery to measure how bright each land use looked. We then used regression and mixing to split the light between these classes. The figure on the right shows roads carrying the most radiance of any class even after unmixing, and the table on the left shows how neighborhood streets alone emitted the most. We also ran several robustness checks, which are outlined in greater detail in the report. The brightness factor heat map on the left shows which blocks emit more light than their size alone could predict, and we ended up finding that 22 of the 47 unusually bright blocks were clustered inside a single square kilometer of downtown Dubai, which would be a very sensible place for stakeholders to start with. Our study also carries several scope and technical limitations. We covered only Dubai's developed core, and road widths were assumed from the literature rather than measured. We also used free satellite imagery, which is too coarse to resolve a road corridor directly. The satellite imagery we used is also largely blind to the blue-rich light that modern white LEDs put out, so our figures are likely overestimates. Our proposed theory of change runs through three impact pathways. Dark Sky International, the world's leading light pollution organization, has very kindly invited us to write a guest post featuring our findings on their website. Alongside that, we plan to use the contacts we built throughout the Research Foundations program and the fellowship to reach Dubai's lighting policymakers. Dubai is currently replacing its street lighting under the Demand Side Management Strategy Program of 2030, where we can push for shielding to be written into the specification. This does rest on a few limitations though. Policy is a notoriously difficult area of implementation, and we hold no mandate over the RTA or Dubai municipality. However, the timing does favor us, since the retrofitting is taking place right now. Similarly, incentives may be misaligned, since roads, signage, and facades sit with different bodies, though our contacts have reassured us that they can help us navigate that process. Over the coming months, we plan to publish the Dark Sky guest post, grow our network of advocates, and rerun the analysis on higher resolution imagery. We will also iterate on expert feedback until we can take the target list to the RTA and Dubai municipality with a shielding specification. In conclusion, we built the first land use emission map of Gulf City, Dubai, using open data. A quick back of the envelope calculation yields an estimate that shielding the 300,000 LED streetlights that Dubai is planning to fit by 2030 would save around $1 million a year, pay for itself in under 6 years, and return up to $20.6 million across the 20-year life of the fixtures. Thank you.